We have a busy little studio this morning. We're joined by Julia de Cadenet. Hello, Julia. Very nice to meet you.
Hi.
And who's your friend?
This is Debbie.
Hello, Debbie. How are you? Now, you've also brought a friend and a bigger friend of Debbie's. Who have we got here?
We've got Felicity.
That's Hi, Felicity. And who are you with, Felicity?
I'm Hayley.
Hayley. Oh,
I couldn't hear you.
Hayley is the dog.
Hayley. And Felicity has no mic, so we'll just... she's there for effect, yeah, to look very good. And the effect is this, because, Julia, we're talking about this Yulin Dog Festival, which a festival sounds jolly and gay and all sorts of ribbons and everything else, but it's not. Tell us the truth about all of this.
No, it's actually probably the most unfestival thing you can think of. It's a big city in the south of China where people gather for 10 days, starting around the summer solstice, and they eat dogs and get drunk.
Now, what are the stories about your little dogs here? Sorry, this one's called?
This is called Debbie.
Debbie.
And Debbie actually came from the festival.
Oh, dear.
So she's literally just arrived.
Who's our other doggy over here?
And Felicity's our campaign dog now, and she came over a few years ago. She was going to suffer a similar fate.
So tell me this, when they come from China, do they only understand Chinese instruction?
Well, actually, they learn French first, Eamon, because we bring them to Paris first.
Oh. Well, listen, young Debbie she's looking really comfortable, isn't she? She's looking really lovely there.
Considering she's just arrived, I think she's doing pretty well, don't you?
Yeah, we do. So what would happen to a doggy like Debbie?
So Debbie probably was somebody's pet, and she would have been stolen, rounded up by dog dealers, probably around Beijing area, and then driven thousands of miles tight in a truck in a cage with other dogs, and then taken down to the festival where people will eat her.
Oh. So that's her when she was rescued, and we've had butchery pictures as well, which is just like, going into your local butchers and watch the meat being carved up and chopped up and whatever, and it's quite sobering to see when you see those pictures.
It is horrific, isn't it? Because we were talking about it earlier, even if you do eat meat, there's something so different about dogs, isn't there? I don't know whether that's the innocence or the love that you get from a dog, or the trust that you have. The relationship between humans and dogs is so different, isn't it? It's hard to believe, looking at Debbie, that anybody would want to eat her.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a misconception because people say, oh, they're special dogs, they're different to normal dogs. Well, you're seeing yourself, aren't you? They're all kinds of dogs. And I think the thing that's most shocking is that they would butcher them in front of families and kids. So you've got your children there who are probably just thinking, oh, we're going out for the day. The last thing they want is to see a pet butchered. So in our opinion, as a charity, we feel it's like not very kind to the children as well to have to watch that.
Julia, are you a meat eater?
I'm not, no.
I'm not surprised you're not.
I mean, I'm not a hardline vegan.
Yes.
I was lucky, I grew up not eating meat. But I believe, because our campaign, what we try to do is we try to engage people in a friendly way, so we're non-judgmental.
No.
I mean, I'm always saying to people, don't eat meat.
But I rescued a dog 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and it changed my life about everything. And where I'm really disgusted with myself is that I still eat meat. It opened up my eyes to animals in general and how we should have a better relationship with them. But my dog communicates back to me, so I could never really think of eating a dog. And I'm sure if you had a horse or a pony or something, you would feel exactly the same. But there is something different. I mean, it should make us all wake up and think, whether it's a cow we're talking about or a sheep or whatever, it's not right.
I think so. Well, I suppose what would happen was, because I've seen it with my own eyes, I don't wish to be too graphic on a Monday morning, but the dogs are also used for fur as well, and it would be akin to going down, say, Oxford Street, and you see them being slaughtered in front of you for fur. So I guess if you saw that with other animals, it might put you off.
Right, well, what are you asking people to do? What can people do? OK,
well, as a charity, we are desperately underfunded, Eamon, because we're all run by volunteers, and we have a large shelter of more than 500 dogs in China that we set up, which we have to feed and care for and find them homes. So we always ask people, if they can, to maybe buy a T-shirt or put a small donation to us. That would really help us. other things we ask for is for people to come along to our events and help us with education, because the more we educate people in a friendly way, the more people can connect with different animals. They can perhaps think about what they're doing and maybe make small changes, but in a, not in a hard line way, in a way that we think would have a sustainable difference. And of course, our best case scenario would be if we knew any lovely people that happen to be flying to China for business or on holiday, not to do anything gruesome, but to act as a flight volunteer to bring some of our dogs back.
Gosh,
that would be amazing, Eamon, if you could come.
Yeah. Get yourself off to China. You can adopt another dog.
Yeah.
You definitely could. I'd adopt little Debbie here. She's absolutely gorgeous, looking so comfortable there. And she's only been in the country how long?
Well, I just brought her. She came to Paris about a week ago, and I drove her overnight to bring her here today. Yeah.
Well done, you, and thank goodness there are people like you.
We believe, Eamon, just that when it comes to adoption, we know that a lot of people, they get a little bit like, oh, I haven't got a garden, I live in an apartment in London. But actually, for us, we're happy as long as you can love the dog.
Yes.
And we're really happy if elderly people would like to take on one, and we're always around. So,
to help, to back up
100%,
if it gets too much. And the love that you give will be nothing like the love you'll get back. But this is a lychee and meat festival. How do those two things go together?
Lychee wine, it's an alcohol.
Oh, is it?
They make a very strong wine, spirit drink, and they drink that,
Well, I don't know if Debbie's been drinking it this morning, but something should be well and truly. Amanda, we've got to go, or Julie, sorry, we've got to go. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us today.
Thank you for the work that you do.
We really just, because we're a London-based charity, we started here. We're not very far from you. We always welcome volunteers to our events. We're at the Piccadilly Animals Fair at the weekend. So anyone that wants to join us, help with any skills in any way, they're very welcome.
So your charity is No to Dog Meat?
It is, and our website's notodogmeat.com.
Yeah, No to Dog Meat, all one word.
Does what it says on the tin, Eamon.
Good. Thank you very much.
Julia, thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.
Great work that you do. Thank you for saving these beautiful dogs.